Hi again, it's Kylie Coo. So I've just finished a page. I was doing Shannon Pratt's Pick 10 Sticks. If you look at my previous video, you'll see what I mean if you haven't seen it already. And I've got some materials left over from that, and normally what I would do is scrape the waste paint into my next journal page to use next time, but actually I'm feeling like I still want to do some more art. I don't have a lot of time, so I was trying to think what I could do with what I've got left over and in the time that I've got available. And that also got me thinking that sometimes time's tight and you don't actually have a lot of time to do some art, and often in those cases you think, oh well, I'll just leave it for another time, no matter how desperate you are to do some art. So again, that got me thinking a bit further, and I thought about, well, how about doing a 5-minute page, and a 5-minute page using Shannon Green's prompts for journaling by fives. So I kind of worked it out, and it works out that for each step, each 5 minute, I shall start that again. There are 5 steps, and for each of those steps it works out about 45 seconds a page. So I thought, well, what I'll do is round the 45 seconds up to 1 minute. So for each of those steps I'll give myself 1 minute, and rather than just doing one page I will do 2. So at the end of the whole process, that 5 minutes, I should have one completed page, or actually 2, because I'm going to do 2 adjoining pages. And that, if I keep doing that through this journal, then I'll end up with a kind of journaling by fives journal, albeit it's kind of constructed in a slightly different way. So that's my plan. I'm just using one of these small sketchbooks again. I'm going to start in the middle because I probably want to take these staples out. I really don't like staples, so I'm going to take them out, but I don't have time to do that just now and bind it, then sit down and paint. So I'm going to paint, and then I will probably take those out at a future point and just put a bit of binding in. So I'll start with this middle page, but the idea would then be that I'd use that as a double spread and that as a double spread. So 1 minute per step, 2 prompts per step. So 1 is paint and ink, 2 is collage, recycle, 3 is stamps and stencils, 4 is words and images, and 5 is pen and pencils. So the only stops I'll take in between are, for example, to dry anything off before I go on to the next stage. So you'll see these are the paints that I'm going to be using. I've got some bits and pieces of collage. I don't know how much I'll get on in the time available. I've got my stencils, stamps, all that kind of paraphernalia beside me. So I hope to move through this pretty quickly. So yeah, see you on the other side. Okay, so I shall now dry this off, and then I'll be back for step 2. Okay, so step 2 done, and again I'll just quickly dry this off and I'll be back for step 3. Okay, step 3, stamps and stencils. Okay. Okay, so that's where we're at after those first 3 steps. And again, I'll just quickly dry this off before I go on to the next step. Okay, so step 4 is words and images. That's more or less dry. So I've basically got an image and a word or set of words, and I'm just going to use my 1 minute to stick these down. Now Shannon does say that what you can do is put them down quickly and then go back and glue them later. So I'm just going to do the best that I can, but I think that's all I'll get down in 1 minute. So I've pulled these from my little stash of images and words. So again, let's get the 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Here we go. Brush to the ready. My brush has gone kind of hard, which isn't helping. I should have popped it in glue in water. I don't want it. When all else fails, use your fingers. And there we go. Okay, back in a moment. Okay, so all I've done is give it a second or two to dry. It didn't take long, and I've cut off the edges that were overhanging with the image. So now is pen and pencil. So again, I'll give myself a minute. Okay, 1 minute, and here we go. Not a lot of time for this stage, but remember there is always time for free play later, so all I'm trying to do here is just get that to stand out a bit. And there we go. Time done. So there we have it. That's my 5-minute page using the journaling by 5 prompts, but doing 1 or rather 2 pages in one go. So I'm going to leave my free play time probably for another time because, as I said, I only had a certain amount of time to do this. So 5 minutes for the page and, you know, probably no more than a few minutes in between to allow it to dry. I did use a heat tool to help it dry, so it didn't take very long at all. So I think it just goes to show that if you've got 5 or 10 minutes to spare, there's no reason not to create some art. So, yeah. If you fancy, give it a try and let me know how you get on. So, thanks again for watching. Bye for now.